Hello everyone and welcome back to Crosses Gaming. Today we are going to take a look at Ballistic Overkill. This fast-paced online multiplayer arena first-person shooter gives you the old-school rush of fighting in a fairly small arena, trying to kill as many opponents and claim the objective. It is available on Steam for €11 and 99 cents. So, a fast-paced arena shooter. These seem to gain back some ground they have lost since the times when Counter-Strike, Quake, and Unreal Tournament reigned supreme over any other kind of game on the PC market, and one single game is responsible for that: Overwatch. But don't get me wrong, it's not like Counter-Strike Global Offensive isn't one of the biggest games out there, but compared to the 1.6 version, or god forbid games like Quake and Unreal Tournament, CSGO is a very much slower game. But Blizzard's Overwatch has reinvigorated the mass interest in this sort of games, so it's no surprise that more and more are coming out. But compared to the arena shooters of old, Ballistic Overkill adds something that is very popular these days, again because of Overwatch, and that is classes. But the classes here aren't as distinct as they are in Overwatch, where the playstyle of each character is vastly different from any other. Here, the basic gameplay loop is at least somewhat similar for each class, making changing the class you're playing much more easier than it is in Overwatch. So, let's start by looking at the classes that are available in Ballistic Overkill. The game has 3 basic categories for its 7 classes: Assault, Sniper, and Area Denial. The Assault classes are the classes that mainly deal with killing foes. The first Assault class is the Vanguard, and this is probably the class most people will first try playing with, as it is the most balanced in terms of attack and defense. Then we have the Berserker, the close and medium range class of Ballistic Overkill, mostly utilizing shotguns. And the last Assault class is the Shadow, my personal favorite class in game. This class is fast, invisible while running, and either uses fast SMGs or a sword to take the fight directly into melee range. The second type of classes are the Snipers, which are then separated between Marksmen and Wraiths. Marksmen use scope semi-automatic sniper rifles to quickly dispatch of enemies at range while granting their team access to a radar, and the Wraith are probably closest to the traditional sniper, as they primarily use big sniper rifles and have this amazing benefit of being invisible while standing still for more than 1.5 seconds. And the last type of classes are the Area Denial classes, more specifically the Tank and the Grenadier. Let's start with the Tank. As the name does suggest, this is the class that has lots of health but is slower than the others and is there to stand on the point during King of the Hill battles, killing his foes with his big weapons. And the Grenadier is your prototypical Area Denial class, mostly reminding me of the demo in Team Fortress 2 or Junkrat in Overwatch, as he uses a grenade launcher to deal AoE damage to a crowded spot. And the thing I'm most happy to report is the fact that classes feel fairly balanced. No class felt really overpowered or even underpowered, at least from my pretty casual point of view. But that is also the most important point of view for the vast majority of potential players. And while I do tend to play as the Shadow the most, that is just my preference, because I really like the fast-paced playstyle with lots of movement instead of camping a single spot like a player who prefers snipers would. And all the playstyles are available here, whether you're like me, moving around getting a quick kill in a spot where enemies don't expect you, being in the front making sure other players have the space they need to kill your enemies, or just hanging in the back with a sniper rifle, getting rid of targets that could cause problems to your team. All this and more is here. Now we should take a look at the game modes and maps that Ballistic Kill has on offer, and we will start with the game modes. These are really traditional, only more playing into the old school feeling of this game, and we will start with King of the Hill, where players are separated into 2 teams and try to gain control over a central spot for which they gain points. The second, and again very traditional game mode, is Capture the Point. That is sort of similar to King of the Hill, but instead of a single point to contest, there are 3 points for you to fight over. Both of these modes have one additional thing in common, and that is the win condition. Either your team needs to gather 1000 points from standing on the points, or the team that gathered more points after a 10-minute timer runs out wins. So the first 2 game modes are the one in which you need to control an area, And secondly, we have the modes that deal strictly with killing, and to be honest, I really like these better, as when I go play a first-person shooter, I want to kill people, not fight over an objective. So we start with free-for-all, basically the most traditional game mode ever, since it's just a regular deathmatch where anyone can kill anyone. And the second of the killing modes is Team Deathmatch, and I don't think I have anything more to say than it's just two teams who kill each other. Sadly, the game modes are probably the weakest point of the game, as they don't offer anything special. All of these can be found in many other games, and one game mode that would be somewhat special could really make this game shine a bit brighter. Okay, we talked about the classes and the game modes available. Now we should take a look at the progression Ballistic Overkill uses. After each match, you will be awarded with experience points to the classes you used in that particular match. The amount of experience points you get towards each class depends on how much time you spend playing that class, on how well you manage to do with it. Once you gather enough of these points, you will level up that class, getting access to different weapons and skills. But not active skills, they're all passive skills for that class. The weapons you get aren't strictly upgrades, they provide you with choices, and choices are always good. The same with the skills. You start off the game with the basic traits available to you, and you get to pick two of these, so picking the ones that best suit your playstyle is something that you should definitely do. At the moment, there are over 80 weapons available, but of course, some are limited to particular classes. And when it comes to the traits, each of the classes has 6 of them available, with the exception of the Wraith, that has only 5 available. Good, I think we're done talking about the mechanics of the game, and we can move on to the part you guys actually love the most. How the game actually feels while playing. And I gotta say, it feels really good. The map size forces engagements very often, so you aren't just cruising around, and even if you aren't playing on a full server, finding someone to kill or to get killed by isn't something that will take very long, especially if you're playing as one of the faster classes. But even if you aren't playing as one of the faster classes, you'll find people often, especially in the King of the Hill and capture points where people tend and should stick around the objectives. Then we should talk about how the shooting feels. And while it certainly doesn't feel realistic, it does feel fun. And realism obviously wasn't the goal here, as the game is clearly set in the future, so weapons with low recoil are understandable because you aren't just a regular human being, you're obviously something more. The fact that both the movement and gunplay feel very nice is only enhanced with the skill system that was already mentioned, as you can further tweak your character to your liking, and that is something I like very much. Okay, that's enough about the game's mechanics and gameplay. Now let's talk about how the game looks. As you can see from the footage behind me, the game does look quite nice. It's not Crysis nor Witcher level of graphical fidelity, but it does certainly hold its own. The textures look nice, the effects are decent, and because the game takes a very realistic approach towards its style, and by that I mean that the style is really going for trying to look as real as its engine and today's computer allow for, you can't really expect me to talk about how it makes me feel. And making you feel certainly wasn't the aim here. It was more about consistency in terms of being able to find your enemies while providing hiding spaces at the same time. I will surrender the fact that especially the grenade explosions could be a bit more flashy, but well, that's the design choice they went for. Now onto the performance. And yeah, it runs really well. No hiccups, no stuttering, nothing. It ran like a hot knife slices through butter. And the game didn't crash for me either, so nothing to complain about here. So, in conclusion, fun, cheap multiplayer shooter. If you're looking for something to get a few quick kills in, Ballistic Overkill certainly is a good game, but it comes trying to claim a spot in a very crowded market. Between CSGO, Overwatch, Team Fortress 2, and many other online first-person shooters, it will have a very hard time trying to find its spot. But if you want to try something new and fun, Ballistic Overkill does provide a good option for exactly that. Well, that's it for today, guys. Hope you liked the review, and if you did, please consider liking it, subscribing to my channel for more gaming reviews, or comment if you had something you would like to add. And if you don't like the video, well, dislike it. See you all next time with more gaming content.